Good morning, and thank you all for being here this morning. It's a beautiful morning for this. I'm Jennifer Brailer. I'm the interim president of Asheville Humane Society, and I'm here to welcome all of you to the dedication of the Donald C. Jones Memorial Wall and Garden this morning. Donald Jones was a man whose compassion for his dogs knew no equal, and through the Donald C. Jones Foundation, his legacy can live on. And keeping true to the passion for his dogs and for helping those in need, we want to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the three trustees of the Donald C. Jones Foundation, two of which are not with us today, Octavio Felipe and Andrew Strauss. Unfortunately, they're not with us today, but we do have the pleasure of having Barbara Gardner with us this morning. Thank you for being here, Barbara, and for everything that you're doing. I would also like to take a moment to thank three amazingly talented artists that are in our crowd as well, who have really generously given their talents to Asheville Humane Society and to this Memorial Garden and Wall. We have Jamie Belangia, whose talents, and she's a dear friend of mine as well, but if you see these plaques that we actually are putting on the wall, Jamie's doing that. They're handmade. I mean, she is just such a talented woman, and we really do appreciate your generosity and talents that you give to us. And then Dan Mayer, who I don't know if you've seen it yet, but we have this beautiful wood bench up here for families to come and just honor and remember their beloved pets. And Dan is responsible for that and just did a fantastic job. Thank you, Dan. And then, of course, there's Joel. Joel would like you all to think that he comes here and volunteers and dedicates his time to us just because of his lovely wife, Heather, but the reality is Joel has a very, very kind heart and is a very generous individual, and it's Joel's vision and insight that really put this garden together. I mean, he's responsible for the landscape design and just the entire concept of this memorial garden. So thank you so much, Joel. Also, I want to take a minute to thank all of our wonderful staff and volunteers who are not able to be with us this morning because they're cleaning or maybe taking a much-needed day off from caring for the animals and the life-saving work that they do every day. And then also for all of you staff, volunteers, and supporters who are here today, lending your voice to this wonderful dedication and memory of the pets that we have lost, pets that we actually are coming through our doors on a daily basis, and just honoring and cherishing them and the memory of Donald C. Jones. And finally, I want to introduce Chaplain Arthur Slagle, who's a retired Navy chaplain who's actually going to lead us through the dedication this morning. And I want to thank Chaplain Slagle for his service to our country and also for being here today. If you'd like to take it.
I get the first one.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad the clouds are moving different directions. I tell people I'm in sales, not management. So, but again, welcome to this facility. It's so special. It may be hidden from the community, but it is well known in the community. So, we'd like to begin with a reading, To Love Again. Oh, what unhappy twist of fate has brought you homeless to my gate, the gate where once another stood to beg for shelter, warmth, and food. For from that day I ceased to be the master of my destiny, while she, with purr and velvet paw, became within my house the law. We can always understand what that's about. She scratched the furniture and shed, and claimed the middle of my bed. She ruled in arrogance and pride and broke my heart the day she died. So if you really think, oh cat, I'd willingly relive all that because you come forlorn and thin. Oh, don't just stand there. Come on in.
In my dream, Stanley is sitting in a field of rubber balls, and they are bouncing all around him. He rolls in them and chases them, drops them into holes, growls and barks, and leaps for joy. When he sees me, he stops, wags his tail, and then rushes to me, showering me with licks, bumping his head into me, sniffing me.
Hey,
He says.
it's great to see you.
He drops a ball on the ground in front of me, waiting for me to throw it. Balls are rolling and bouncing everywhere. What was your purpose in my life? I ask.
To make you laugh, to keep fun alive for you, to make you smile and step out of yourself.
That's all?
That's a lot.
So it was that simple. You kept laughter alive for me?
12 times a day.
I threw the ball and he tore off after it. And I smiled.
When I am an old cat, I shall wear a diamond collar and leave my footprints on white couches. I shall drink my cream with a touch of brandy and spit out my vitamins. I shall sit on the laps of dog people just to irritate them. I shall nap on top of the neighbor's petunias and perch on the top of bird baths and grow charmingly chubby. But for now, I must tolerate the dog and use my litter box and not sharpen my claws on the sofa, so no one can doubt the truth that cats are superior to dogs. But every once in a while, I wonder if I should be naughty now and then and nip a few toes, so my humans won't be too surprised when suddenly I become an old cat and start to wear a diamond collar.
I had never known a horse this obliging, this relaxed. I was used to being bossed around by Georgia, always on my guard, lest I offend her in some way. It didn't seem horsey, this calm, endless good nature. It didn't even seem human. Lay Me Down had so many good reasons to be skittish, or mean, or difficult, but she never was. Except for when I led her into the trailer the first day, I didn't even keep a halter on her. There was no reason to. She came as soon as she saw me. Unlike me, Lay Me Down seemed to feel no rancor. In spite of everything, she was open and trusting of people, qualities that I decidedly lacked. It was her capacity to engage that drew me to her, that made me aware of what was possible for me if I had her capacity to what? Forgive? Forget? Live in the moment? What exactly was it that enabled an abused animal, for lack of a better word, to love again? I switched to the other side of her neck and worked backwards towards her newly fleshed out shoulder. She was a pure bay, without a single white marking. It made her seem bigger to me somehow, an ocean of brown as far as the eye could see. "You're beautiful," I told her, letting the brush drop and running my hands over her newly sleek neck. "My lamy downy brownie," I said. She took a deep breath and let a fine mist flubber out of her nostrils and slightly parted lips. I felt it on the back of my neck, her big wet sigh. I felt it on my heart.
I grew up in the South Bronx of New York. You can tell by my accent, right? My mother was from Brooklyn, but I'm from the Bronx, the boy from the Bronx. I grew up in the projects. And in the projects, you couldn't have animals. Oh, you could have fish. You could have a hamster. But you couldn't have dogs and cats. By the time I came back from Vietnam, in 1968, to my house, I found dogs living in the apartment. No cats, but dogs. And so things change over time. And when I got married, one of the first things I got, besides a new wife, was a dog. And we see in the transition and changes in life that animals become very much a part of our lives. I was a senior in college, and my first dog was a little poodle we called Scutch. Why, I don't know. But over the years, I have seen Irish setters, poodles, large and small, and any other variety of dog besides the beautiful huskies that I had. One day I was asked what kind of dogs I liked, and I thought that huskies were one of the most beautiful dogs. But I said to my spouse, don't go buy one. I left on a month-long deployment on a ship, and I came home, and what do you think I found? Siberian Husky. So my new orders across the country to Bethesda Naval Hospital included a poodle with 8 pups and a Siberian Husky and 3 kids. What a transition and change across the country. And my Husky had never seen snow in its life. And as we came across the country at the end of December, we hit snow, and the dog just enjoyed it immensely. But we come to a beautiful garden. If you've ever been to the Keys, anybody been to Keys in Florida? There are things that you go see. You may see the Key Encounter, which is a creation multimedia presentation put on by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. You may go down to the point and say, oh, Cuba's only 90 miles away, and stand at a sign and have your picture taken. Or you may be adventurous and say, I love literature, so I'm going to go to Hemingway's house. Have you been to Hemingway's house? The house is beautiful, but what's more significant about that is you go to the garden in the back, and there in his garden, you'll see stones with the names of his cats. And as you go around that area, as you walk around that house, you're not alone, because there are felines walking all over the place. Not only 6-toed cats, but a variety of cats. But that garden is so beautiful. And what you have here is a beautiful garden. And one of the greatest gifts that the Creator has given to us is the ability to walk through the garden of memories. And for those of us who have had pets for no matter how long in our lives, a garden of memories is important for us because it allows us to bring back those experiences that we've had with our pets. And they become precious to us. And a garden such as this will become a precious place to the people in the community where they can come and sit and reflect about those moments in time when that cat sat on the lap of a dog lover, or the dog came and wanted to play ball with you. I have to periodically check my clothes to make sure I don't have cat hair on them. When I moved to this area, one of our kids was moving to Hong Kong, and of course they had 3 cats, and they couldn't take their cats to Hong Kong. They were working for Disney. And so we took one of the cats, and I periodically have to keep looking, okay, do I have cat hair? You will come here at a moment in time when things are good and things are not so good, and remember. And so we dedicate this garden to not only the memory of our loved animals and pets, but to the memory of those who have made this happen. We dedicate it to those who work in this facility, in this community. We dedicate it because it is a place of sacred memory for us. And it will be one as we continue on. And so in a special way, we want to set this area aside as a place of sanctuary and specialty. And we know that as our Creator has given us great gifts, And I believe he has the greatest sense of humor because he gives us cats who believe they rule and run the house, and dogs who show there is no greater friend than a pet. I like what it says in our program, when you believe there's no love in the world, just gaze into the eyes of the cat in your lap or the dog at your hearth. How precious that is. And I hope that this area will be a place of precious memories, and so we dedicate it, we set it aside in a very special way. And we are grateful for all who have made this happen, who will continue to support this facility and the work they do, and who will stand firm in believing that there's a sacredness in what God has given to us, in those precious animals, whatever they might be, who fill our hearts, who fill our homes, and who fill our lives with love. We dedicate it, and we say thank you for being part of this here today.
I thought I was going to be okay because Heather and I made this promise. Well, she promised me that nothing I'd be reading would make me cry, but we didn't account for everything that came before me. So mine is very happy. O Great Spirit, I give you thanks for creating all of the peoples, two-legged, four-legged, winged, and finned. May I learn the great lessons from each of these. From the cat, let me learn healing, clarity, and keen vision. From the bird, let me learn how to let my spirit soar. From the fish, let me learn tenacity and to overcome obstacles. From the horse, let me learn strength and freedom. And from the dog, let me learn faithfulness, courage, and unconditional love. May I walk, swim, and fly in harmony and balance with all of these.
Going home. Death is for me a spiritual experience, perhaps the ultimate one. It defines us, our lives, as well as our sense of purpose and time. When an animal of mine dies, I close my eyes. I think of that animal leaving me. I think of Orson's fierce dedication to me and his inability to live in a human world. Of Henrietta, the hen's quirky personality and her refusal to be an ordinary chicken. Of Winston, the rooster's gravitas, courage, and sense of duty. Of Elvis, the steer's genial companionship and affection. Sometime down the road, I will think of Izzy, the dog's grace in comforting the sick and dying, and Rose, the dog's great professional ethic and sense of responsibility. I mourn the loss of these creatures, but I also celebrate their spirits and honor them. It is a wonderful thing to love a dog or a cat, a bright and shining spot in a challenging world. I give thanks for it. However long my dog lives and however painful it is to see him die, it's an awful and beautiful thing to grieve for an animal. Through their deaths, I am open to the love and light of the world, a final gift of feeling, a rebirth of understanding and meaning. Death is as much a part of life as birth. In my grief over them, I see my other losses and sorrows, my sad and fearful childhood, my unhappy mother, my remote and disconnected father, the dreams that I have lost, and the dreams that I've found. And I see my joy, the friends, the love, the challenges, the change. Is there a better way to learn and to grow? From the darkness, light. From loss, gain. From sorrow, joy. To the animals I have loved and lost, I'm nothing but grateful. Pain defines love. It gives it meaning. Without pain, love is nothing. Grieving hurts, but it cleanses and purifies. It brushes us against our souls. It whispers to us that we receive the great love, the great unconditional love. What a gift. And that does not ever die.
Our pets are our lifesavers. We know that. It's only appropriate that we close with some words of wisdom in a prayer from Albert Schweitzer. Hear our humble prayer, O God, for our friends, the animals, especially for those who are suffering, for any that are lost or deserted or frightened or hungry. We entreat for them all, thy mercy and pity. And for those who deal with them, we ask a heart of compassion and gentle hands and kindly words. Make us, ourselves, to be true friends to animals, and so to share the blessings of the merciful. Thank you.
Wow, that was very touching and such a wonderful dedication. Thank you all for your time today, for your kind words, for just embracing each other and enjoying our wonderful garden and our wall. And again, thank you, Barbara, and to Octavio and to Andrew for seeing this through and really helping the animals here that we have, and our talented artists and everyone else that does so much for the animals. We really do appreciate all that you do, and you all are just lifesavers in this world. And we do have opportunities to view some of the materials for the plaques if you're interested. Jim will be back there taking care of all of that and answering questions, and just enjoy. And we have some snacks and some light refreshments as well. And thank you, and have a wonderful day. It's beautiful.